Okay. Should all mute ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll mute ourselves and
So Pat Carlson is our title reader tonight. Is she here?
There she
Yep,
is.
there she is. Yep. Thank you, Pat. And our judge tonight is Jan Lightfoot. This is, I believe, her third time judging for us. Uh, if you look at our website, www.janlightfoot.com, you'll see a lot of really nice images, all in the categories that she'll be talking about tonight. So perfect judge for us. And a few categories that we're not talking about tonight. So
No,
with that, I'll turn it over to you, Jan, and I'll pull up the
okay.
notes.
Okay.
I have to juggle a few windows here to make sure I can share my screen. There it is. Okay.
So I read the titles too, right? Everything, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. Pictorial. Thursday, March 14th, 2024. Basic, 5 images. Just a drop.
Just a drop. Okay, this is a mysterious image. It has deep, dark purple shades and kind of a really soft back or black background. And the main part of the image which I gravitate to is obviously the leaf or the petal that has the water drops on it. And for me, that's where my eye goes. And I'm not really seeing anything else that takes me away from that in this image. And so therefore, I think it could be successfully simplified or be a little bit simplify the image by maybe cropping in so it's a little bit tighter and really showing off the highlights of the drops on the petal there. Perhaps lightening it up a little bit would be nice too. Next.
Sonoma Mountain Snow, 2019.
Okay. All right. This is a really nice image. I love having the snow on the mountains here, and especially knowing that it's in Sonoma. Something that, we don't see that often. And so I think the composition really works well. We've got a focal point of the White House down there at the bottom. And to maybe areas of opportunity here, I think could be just adding some contrast to this image and really making it pop. Maybe by using, like a slider of black and maybe white will really make this pop and probably make the sky even a little bit bluer. So yeah, just work on it in post-processing. Next.
Arbor, Loreto, Mexico.
So this is a very nice sort of tree tunnel going on here. And I can see why it attracted attention for the photographer. Not too many people there, but that's okay. I think we have 3 people here that are part of the scene. The guy on the bench here in the foreground, the next guy, and then the guy on the bicycle. And if you draw a line from the from the guy on the bench to the guy on the right side on the bench, and then to the bicycle. You have sort of a triangle thing going on here, and that could work really well if the shadows were brought up a little bit, and maybe the highlights were came down a little bit. So kind of a nice, simple image, but again, work on a little bit of the post-processing.
Close to nature. I love the way this young botanist is so immersed and absorbed in adding a blade of grass to her sketchbook.
Yeah, I really like the way she's being profiled here also. I think it's a very sweet image. And she's obviously very concentrating on recording this information in her sketchbook. So she's got a few tattoos on her arm, which I think for me speaks to youth and in this natural environment. And it's a really good reflection on youth and nature, I think. And if there's one thing I might do, I'm not so sure that you need to have the edge of the log here on the left in focus. I'm concentrating more on her, what's going on with her body, her face, her hands, and the book. And so I would just maybe tighten this up a little bit by taking off some on the image, part of the image on the left. Next.
Winchester Beach, Oregon shore.
So I think there's a few things going on here that are holding this image back. And the first thing would be this sort of hill of sand that is really dominating the image. It takes up literally half the image, and yet it's not. I don't think that's part of the story necessarily. I think the story is out there where the people are walking on the beach, and so there's also a sun that is just totally blown out. And I think you could really, I see a picture with a picture here, and it's about, kind of losing the sand that's preventing us from seeing past everything, and seeing this picture with just the sun reflecting off the water. So that's where my eye goes. And I think, and there's also a white line here. I don't know what happened with that, but you don't want to have that there. And so I would work on recomposing this so that your interest is with the people on the beach. Next.
Pictorial, Thursday, March 4th. I don't have to say the date. I'll just say intermediate 3 images. Elegance and form.
This is a really nice close-up of this black swan. And I do love the form. I think it is very elegant. So I think the title is right on in this. And my only problem is that we don't really have a sharp image. I don't, unfortunately, see a point of sharpness. And that's kind of important especially when you're this close to your subject. So this is something that I would just practice with, because you're on the right track here as far as seeing the form and that sort of thing. And it's a beautiful animal. Also, maybe try a different time of day, maybe later in the afternoon or early in the morning. Next.
Red sky at morning, sailors take warning. A rule of thumb used in weather forecasting for the last 2 millennium. Gold Ridge, Sebastopol, California.
Yeah, beautiful sky. There's a little bit of yellow down there in the right-hand side, which kind of draws my eye to that area. And here again, I'm not quite sure that the tree that's partially showing on the left side really needs to be there. It's kind of sticking out from, kind of into space because we don't see a trunk or anything like that. I would concentrate here again on what's going on the right-hand side and maybe crop that down so that we're seeing mainly the silhouettes of the trees through the sunset and not so much of the top of the sky, but kind of where that yellow is and just kind of focusing in on that area of the picture because that's your center of interest here. Next.
A buzz.
To me, this image has a really interesting appeal. It's kind of very graphic in a way, and I really like it. You'll notice how the man-made stuff is rather symmetrical. And then you have this swarm of bees, which is sort of random. And yet they make they form the group kind of forms a triangle on the left-hand side. And it's just kind of a really nice image that is appealing to me. And maybe the only thing I would address here would be the bee on the very bottom right-hand side. And I to me, this would be an image where you want to pay attention to your edges and make sure you either include the bee or not. Now that's, it's all about timing here in a case like this, but just something to think about. Next.
Pictorial advanced 8 images. Dettifoss, close and personal, Iceland.
Yeah, this is a really interesting close-up shot. There's a lot of texture in the water here. It's not clear blue water. It's obviously coming from a glacier. But I do like the way it's all falling down into the center, and you have sort of a thing going on with texture being from the very finest to the very heaviest. So it's kind of an interesting play on contrasts of light as well as shadow and also textures, heavy textures versus lighter textures.
Imperfect geometry.
This resonates with me as a abstract, very kind of graphic abstract, but I love the repetition of the circles, the rivet heads or whatever they may be. I like the repetition of the triangular shapes. The scratches add interest, of course, and it's very weathered, so it just has a nice aesthetic feel about it. And I do like the fact that the line on the right, that long line, and then the line on the bottom, they actually help to kind of frame this and keep your eye from drifting out of the image. Very nice.
In the Atlantic rainforest, a violet-capped wood nymph hovers, observing a prize red ginger flower before diving in for another round of nectar.
Very well captured. You're fortunate that that this hummer is facing you because we can see his beautiful feathers and wing spread. technically very well done. Shooting at a very fast shutter speed, so those wings are frozen. And I think the colors too really go nicely together. And the eye is very sharp. That's the connection that you want to be able to see is the eye. And so typically the eye, you always want the eye to be very, very sharp. So yeah, now that I'm looking on it on the screen here, yeah, it looks very natural and yeah, great image.
Sunrise over a Sisiflay dune, Namibia. Looks like we're advanced now. I didn't see a screen making the difference when it went from intermediate to advanced. So,
okay, I just gotta get my. Am I okay? For some reason, my viewing options are. Hang on, just a second. I want to make sure. But because I know there's a top to this. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. All right. Yeah, this is very interesting because you have this really nice curved line up here on the left, and then this almost mechanical straight line of the dune, probably due to, you know, erosion, wind erosion and things like that, that have just sculpted this sand to be perfectly straight. So that's an interesting juxtaposition right there. Here again, I think the composition could be a little bit different. I think there's a lot of foreground in here that really isn't necessary, and uh, I would suggest perhaps losing some of that foreground and just using the original aspect ratio, just kind of pull it up and lose a lot of that foreground. It's not really helping the image any. And creating a crop then just behind the tree. And I think that would give you probably a simpler image that would pull your eye in a little bit better, especially along the curved line there. Next.
still life with broccoli.
Okay. There are a few issues with this. I appreciate the fact that this attempt at a still life, I think it could work if it was probably reworked. There are some things going on, and I don't know what happened here, but it almost looks like the background has been somewhat manipulated here down in the shadow area. I would prefer to see the little Brussels sprouts down here. You know, they have a place in this, but they're cut off. There should be a place for them within this image and in the still life. And there's also some issues with the satin, the white satin cloth here on the left-hand side too. So I don't know if there was some repair in Photoshop going on to repair the background, but it just looks like some areas weren't quite I don't know, but I'm not seeing what I want to see here. And so, plus it's not very sharp, is pretty soft all throughout. So I think the lighting is really nice. So I would continue to keep working on a still life, but just you're going to have to check all of your you know, your checklist here. The image has to be sharp. Everything in the still life has to have a place to go. and make sure that your post-processing is accurate.
A wonderful mess, a chaotic symphony in the whole rainforest, Olympic National Park.
It is so difficult to pull a good composition from a forest. It's really tough, but I like this because you've managed to pull out two different colors. One is that softer sort of pine green, if you will, and the rest, the yellow part is more fern-like or lichen. And so these are very different in color and in texture. And so I think, yeah, it works. It's tough because it is chaotic, but I think you've tried everything possible to simplify it again, so that the tree in the center just really pops out. Next.
Let the procession begin.
Okay, so a candid shot, and I don't know where this is, probably India, maybe, I guess. And something's about to happen. I would prefer to see this as a vertical image. And the reason why is because I don't have her attention. She's looking somewhere else, which is fine. That's not really a problem. But then the girl in the back is looking straight at the camera, and that's rather distracting. And so, plus, by creating a vertical image, we're going to see not only her face, but we're going to see more of her attire too, which I really think is part of the story here. So, it's not that, like I said, it's not that she's looking away, and that the jewelry on her face is very interesting, and that may be what attracted you to photograph her in the first place. But anytime you're shooting, especially pictorial travel, even journalism, try to get if you're shooting horizontally, try to get a vertical too, because that might make a big difference in the end as to which one you choose to show. Next.
Trees are poems that the earth writes upon the sky. Khalil Gibran.
Yeah. I love the title, and I feel that it's just really appropriate for this image. And I love this tree. I love the sort of upside down V that's going on here. It's or if you will, an upside down triangle. So there's a lot of strength in the image, and there's nothing else around. The hills are very peaceful and perfect time of day. There's also been some, nice work done in post-processing, bringing out the green in the trees. It's very subtle, but it's there. And of course, the sun making God rays is the icing on the cake here. So I love the long shadows. To me, everything about this image is really nicely well done. And I wish I knew where this was, because I would like to go photograph it myself. Next.
Pictorial Masters, 4 images. Sorry, Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, Beauty and the Beast. So we have some northern lights popping out in the sky, popping out from behind some clouds, it looks like. I'm not sure what the reference to beast is, other than it could be the foreground or the buildings in the foreground. I'm not sure, but I think the exposure here is done very well. I think the sky could be a little bit darker maybe, and contrast those northern lights with a darker sky. But I would also, again, consider making this a vertical image simply because those two lights down here, not so much the rest of it, but just those two lights are very distracting, and they pull my eye totally away from enjoying this scene of the northern lights. Next.
Unloading the catch.
Yeah, I was intrigued with this image as well because it's not one we normally see. We're not part of the, behind the scenes uh, drama of fishing. So yeah, I wonder if they had just come in from being out all night. So for me, that's kind of piques my imagination, and that's what I'm thinking. And so they're probably tired and ready to be done. So I enjoy looking at this image. I think it's composed really nicely. It has good balance in it, and technically well done.
South Tower, dawn of the Lunar New Year.
Okay. Yeah, I love the moon coming through the Golden Gate. We have a foreground which helps us with scale. Um, I, you know, I can understand why the horizon itself is almost in the middle of the image, and sometimes that works. And I would say it works okay here, but I don't know if it's that important to put it in the middle because of the seagull up there. The seagull is sort of a secondary focal point. Um, but uh, uh, but the moon is the hero in this image. The moon coming through the Golden Gate is the hero, and I would like to see. I think I'd like to see that up close, and it's really not here. But that's just my personal preference. So we'll just go with that.
Drifters.
I like those tiny little leaves. And if there was no reflection here, I don't think this would work nearly as well. But there's so much interest in the reflection of obviously a tree, and having those little red leaves there, really, a focal point certainly doesn't have to be huge and have a total, like impact, wow factor. They can be subtle. And so I think that's what's happening here is the leaves are a very subtle focal point. They're a small part of the image, but they really work to bring your attention into the image. And there's a lot of interest, like I say, in the reflection. The colors are really nice. Um, could be some, well, obviously fall colors, but again, just very nicely done.
Travel intermediate, 2 images. Indonesian school children are encouraged to interview visitors. This allows a practice of English and gathering information about the world beyond Java. Prambanan Temple, Yogyakarta, Java, Indonesia.
Okay. Okay. Um, The students are obviously very attentive to, I'm going to assume that the person who seems, the woman who's talking is probably an American or English or something like that, but she's the one that they are interviewing. And so I'm sure there's a very interesting conversation going on there. And I like the fact that the students are very in tune with what she has to say. I'm not quite sure what the lone person in the background is there doing. I'm not sure what the purpose of that is, but it takes my eye away from the group of people here. And I don't think it's really necessary to have that in there. You could again simplify this image a little bit by just cropping that out. And it's okay to have just um, the architecture as your background here. Next.
The remote Japanese village of Shirakawa-go is a UNESCO site renowned for its traditional thatch roof houses. The roofs are built communally from pampas grass and said to resemble hands in prayer.
These are beautiful houses. I'm very intrigued. I've never seen these before. And yeah, I just, to me, it's almost like a story, a fairy tale kind of story, with these thatched roofs and everything. And people are walking. I don't even see, I see a few cars, um, but it's very interesting. It's not jam-packed full of cars and that sort of thing. It's nice. It's nice. It's refreshing. Um, I like everything about this. However, I'm kind of viewing this at a tilt, and I feel that everything is kind of like leaning down towards the left. And this would be easy to straighten out just by, tilting the crop a little bit to the right. Other than that, I find it to be a very interesting image.
Travel advanced 8 images. Capitol Reef, NP. This lesser known park is located in Utah's south central desert and is surrounded by layers of red sandstone, canyons, and rock formations. The park is 60 miles long and 6 miles wide.
Very nice composition, really beautiful. And the cloudy day really makes for nice subtle colors. It's yeah, the colors are really well rendered here. I just, there's nothing that I've been to Capitol Reef before, and I haven't seen this view, but this is really nice, and it really wants me to go back. So yeah, a really kind of perfect traditional composition here. I wouldn't change a thing.
New Jersey has 120 miles of Atlantic coastline with clean, unspoiled beaches. Shot from Seabright. In the background are the Manhattan and Brooklyn skylines.
I find the skylines to be kind of interesting, probably, well, most certainly because of the high temperatures, a lot of heat. And so there's a lot of heat waves that we can see, making the buildings kind of like soft and crooked and, no sharp edges or anything like that. It kind of looks like a painting, almost impressionistic painting. Um, the girl is a focal point. Uh, however, she's so small that I don't think I would put her in the center of the image. I think she would be better as part of the image. If you, the right side of the image, I think I think that part could be kind of gone and move her over to the right. And then you see the tall buildings a little bit better. So that's where I would move her, because I think she's just so small to be a focal point here, when the background is kind of being overrun by heat waves.
Procession lineup. Desert Festival 2023, Jaisalmer, India.
Okay, so everybody here is waiting to um, uh, be in the procession, and everybody seems so serious. So they're just really taking this very seriously, I think. Um, so I would like an image like this. We have the two women in the center that are, their backs are to us, and I I would I think I would be okay with that if you were able to get a little bit closer overall. Um, I think, again, simplifying this image, perhaps, and eliminating the bright sun that is above them, would really bring them more into focus, to create a little bit more interesting take on the women themselves. But that bright light just the bright light just kind of detracts and takes my eye right out of the image. And so you got to watch shadows and highlights like that, as being sort of a distraction, in any image. And because the focus really is on the girls. I like the four girls in the foreground on the left here the best. And that's what I would like to see more of, or maybe, the four women on the left side here.
Fisherman stands in his mokoro to gather his fishing netting catch. His boat is made from the trunk of a large straight tree and is traditionally used for fishing on the Hobe River in Botswana. Hobe, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I like the story here. I'm intrigued by the boat itself, made from the trunk of a tree. And you can see, not real clearly, but you can see him gathering his fishing line. And I wonder how big it is. I wonder how many fish he's catching. This is a really straightforward image, but it really tells a good story. And I think oftentimes a straightforward image is better uh, than one that is really, chaotic and kind of busy. But it's very simple, and I like the fact that you've captured something that probably not many people capture. And so to me, this is rather unique.
Old Spanish Days, an annual fiesta in Santa Barbara, California, includes 25 events spanning 5 days. The historical parade is one of the largest equestrian parades in the country, August 4th, 2023.
Well, anytime I see a horse, I love horses, and so it captures my attention right away. And this is no exception. And uh, I think the rider and the horse in the foreground are definitely the thing that we want to see. And I like the horse on the right, also the black horse. And it looks like they're kind of in the same sync. So maybe there's some music going on or something like that. But I think the only thing I could comment on this is that it feels a little cyan to me, and I would work on this in post-processing. But yeah, other than that, I think it's got kind of a skew about it that I really don't mind. Normally, I would say keep it, keep it level, but in this case, it looks like it's almost done on purpose. And I think it actually adds a little bit of um, uh, motion, drama. It's a little bit more dynamic. So yeah, nice image.
I'm proud. First place winner Altai Eagle Festival held in Mongolia's remote mountainous Altai region. The tradition of using trained eagles for hunting dates back 6,000 years.
Yeah, this is a great image. I love the expression on the eagle hunter's face. He's so proud of his eagle. You can see his award there in his hand, and the metal around the eagle's body is um, I've never seen a eagle with a medal on before, so it's kind of fun. And I think everything that is necessary is in the image. Uh, and we get a really good sense of the excitement of this winning pair.
Harbor, Alaska on a cloudy day.
Okay. All right. This is tough because it's it looks like it's hard to even see any shadows because the water is so mirror-like that I see the reflections, but it feels like you're shooting into the sun, which is a really hard exposure to get in the first place. But I think you've done a really good job here getting the exposure right. But I just love the way the water just looks like a mirror and it's reflecting all these boats. There's a lot going on in here. And of course, my eye kind of goes directly to the biggest thing, which is the boat on the right. Um, and because of that, I would say maybe not maybe you don't need so much on the left. I don't think you need that entire ramp that's on here, that blue ramp on the left. Make it, my suggestion would be to make this a little bit more simple to see the sort of the what's going on in the center here and maybe crop off a little bit from the left. Next.
At 28 miles off Highway 190, the last 2 miles being dirt road, the Wild Rose charcoal kilns are among Death Valley's less visited features. Miners turned pinyon into charcoal for smelting ore from 1877 to 79.
A nice image. This isn't all of the charcoal kilns. There's more, but I think you've let us see just what we need to see here. We don't need to see the whole row of them. And good color, good time of day. You have been able to capture these before the shadow came down on them from the mountain. So they have that kind of nice afternoon sun on them. And good detail, good focus and all that. Yeah, I, if you haven't been there, you need to go because they are very, very interesting. And I like the point about what they were used for also in the title.
Travel Masters, 4 images. Mbosley National Park is famous for its numerous elephants. Visitors can stay with the animals into the golden light of evening, but must be back in their camp before dark. Kenya.
This is a really nice image of these elephants. The afternoon light is very complimentary on them in this image. This actually reminds me, well, I think it could be really successful as a like a banner for a magazine or something like that, travel magazine, with a title underneath, or even a website banner, something like that, because I love the aspect ratio. It lends itself very well to the line of elephants and having the Jeep back there with a tourist in there and not just a whole bunch of Jeeps, but just one, I think is really effective. And of course, we have those cattle egrets down here at the bottom, which really help to solidify the fact of sense of place. Next.
Passageway, Angkor Wat, Cambodia.
I love this image. Just so much texture and um, just just interesting details and lines and that really interesting arch at the end of the walkway here. Um, I I my only area of opportunity that I'll mention here is the fact that it's again tipping to the left, and it would be perfect if this was straightened up, maybe tilted to the right just a little bit more so it doesn't look so like it's leaning. I just love enjoying the rest of the details in that though. Sorry.
Longboats, Phi Phi Island, Thailand.
Okay. And uh yeah, this image too, I would love to see I see one person, I think, in the boat on the right, but I don't see any people on the left. Maybe the boats are anchored and there's nobody in there. I don't know, but even at that, um and I'm not sure where you would have been shooting this, but I think this image would benefit from the fact that if the boats were there's a rock out there in the distance, and you have the middle boat here, which the uh the thing which is I guess would be called a mast, or the front of the boat, is creating a lot of tension there because it's overlapping the rock in the background. If both of the boats were pointing, if they had uh, their masts, the front of the boat, out into the open sea, I think that would be a much more interesting image. But just that little circle of tension there uh, is holding the image back from being almost perfect.
An evening in Bangkok, Thailand. People coming and going, and people in line at a night market.
I think this is a great evening shot and very typical. Um, Everybody's waiting at the stoplight. They're coming and going, as the title says. And there's different modes of transportation here, everything from walking to riding the scooters to taxi cabs and who knows what else. So, and there's a lot of interest going on here in the night market. You can see people in line. They look, they're congregating around what's going on here on the corner. So this is just, it must be just a typical busy night. But I do like that you've taken the time to walk around and actually photograph night images here. And look at the chaos of the electrical wires up in the top. When you take your eye up out of the people, that's another really interesting point of to kind of travel or take your eye through and travel around in that. Next.
Okay, we have covered pictorial and travel. We have monochrome and nature and critique feedback to remain. We'll take a 5-minute break.
Monochrome basic, 2 images. Still in love.
Okay, so okay. When I enter this image, I start down here at the kind of the left side, just like we read um, in the Western um, continent, uh, the way we read a book from left to right. And so I start there and I go up to the cars. The cars are fairly sharp, and so is the house. So my eye just goes up to the cars, to the house, and back again. And I'm kind of missing the couple because they're really soft. And I think this would be a really nice image if it were just the opposite, if the people were in focus and the cars were blurred. So, and there's also a pole here in the foreground, which is blurry, that I don't think needs to be there. So if the people were sharp, if the couple was sharp, and you had you didn't have this stuff on the right hand side, I think it would be a more interesting picture. So practice on this. These are the kinds of things that we all need practice on.
Ghirardelli barn.
So I'm going to assume that the Ghirardelli barn is the one in the very background. So it takes a while to kind of get there. The duck in the water, the again the V shape that the duck's wake is making, kind of takes your eye back to it, but it's not predominant in the image the way I'd like it to be. And there's some stuff going on the right over here, which could be, it's just kind of, it looks like a yard or something like that. Probably doesn't need to be there. So this is a good example of where you really need to think about simplifying your image to really make it work. Next.
Monochrome intermediate, 3 images. Burning ritual. Thoughts and prayers to release what I don't want. I let go and let spirit do the work.
So yeah, this image draws me in partly because of what is happening and part of the what I hear in the title, and so I can relate to that. It makes sense to me. Um, I don't see any fire; I just see smoke, but that sort of indicates that something is smoldering, and it it can kind of stir your imagination. And I don't know what it is that's burning. It looks like some kind of spiral notebook, but who knows what it's full of, or if it's blank. I mean, there's a certain mystery here that is kind of fun to unravel. And I think that's what a good image does. It kind of draws you in and makes you think about it.
From the Inferno.
And kind of contrary to the image we just saw to this one, they both have the element of fire in them. Obviously, this being burned, but they're totally different, just very, very different. This almost looks like a skeleton of some kind. Yes, it's a skeleton of a tree, but maybe it's representative of something else. The circle, the hole or the knot hole looks like an eye. But I don't think it's not as impactful as the one that we just saw. And this has a much more static feel to it, even though it's gone through a fire. Um, that said, the rendering of light and shadow here are very nice.
Vallejo wetlands at high noon.
I like these little groups of birds, and I think it's very effective on this white background. It's got that graphic quality about it. Uh, and uh, kind of an odd number of birds. There's 5, 6, 7 altogether. And here I don't mind. You've got separation between the birds. The first or the 5 here on the right and the 2 are together over here on the left, but that's okay. They kind of almost look like one element. But I just like the blacks and the whites in here. And I would even perhaps go in here and take some of these little spots out that look like, I know it's in the water, but I would just clone those out. And so you have a cleaner white that you're dealing with. Next.
Monochrome advanced, 8 images. Muscle.
Well, this gentleman certainly is a presence in this image, and his expression, his physique, everything about him is, he's definitely got the attitude. And yet it's a nice composition, really, with the car in the background, facing towards him. There's just something about that works nicely. No other people on the streets or no other cars. It's just this gentleman and the car. And I really like that about this image. It's just very, it's all about this guy and his physique. His arms are huge, and yet they're very, everything is real smooth. And and I don't mind that he's looking outside of the frame at all, because to me that is more expressive of his whole attitude thing going on here. So yeah, interesting image. I like it in black and white.
Grace.
Okay, so again, we've got that sort of graphic quality going on, and only this time we have a border that contains the egret, and we also have a sort of well, it's like a line drawing around him. So there's been a filter of some kind. I don't use filters, so I don't really know what I would call this type of a filter. But it basically outlines the wings and the whole body. The booty, the booty, the body of the egret is very graceful indeed, and they are in flight. They're beautiful birds. Um, my my only my only issue here is that I really don't see an eye, and for this to look at least more real to me, I really want to see that eye in there, and maybe it's there, maybe it's slanted, I don't know, but I really want to see a more realistic looking eye.
Intensity. Tucked into the shade, this jaguar takes a break from the heat before heading out for its next hunt.
This is a really cool shot. Oh gosh, yeah, he's panting maybe. I don't know. I have no idea how hot it is, but he's either panting um or he's certainly expressive. Um I think that you could really go back into post-processing and really work this image to give it a lot more drama. It feels kind of flat. And if you play with this, I think you can really make his spots pop and make it look like he's in the shadows of the jungle, but really have that light work for you. Manipulate that light so you can see the light, that beautiful light that is on his face. It just feels much too light for me, and lacking contrast. So I would definitely take this back into post-processing and really work on the contrast.
Storm front over the Bridger Mountains, Montana.
This is a beautiful scene, and I like the lines in the fence that's happening here. It's very it's peaceful. You have the fence, and then you have that row of trees, and then the just very kind of rolling mountains in the background. And again, my eye comes in from the left and goes up and around, and either goes out or comes back in. So for me, what you have going on here on the far right, there's a kind of a cluster of pavement, and you can follow the fence around there to the side. And I'm wondering if you really need that in there, if you just come in and take part of that off, and so that the edge of the frame just the fence runs into the edge of the frame instead of having that little um, pull out there. Uh, I think it would be a cleaner image. I love it to begin with, but um, that's just what I see in this. Next.
Waves on a glossy surface.
Waves on a glossy surface, and which to me looks like a car. And the thing that gives it away, it's not so much the wipers on the front of the car, it's the rear view mirror over there on the left. Um, so I like this. And again, I'm going to suggest that perhaps there's another image in here of just really taking it to an abstract level and just cropping that rear view mirror out, and and just seeing what happens to it. You could make it really really abstract, because you've got some really interesting lines that they make a great pattern, and to me, that's really what the story is here, are the lines and the contrasting white and blacks.
Let me whisper in your ear.
Yeah, this just really popped out at me when I first saw it. And I love it. I love that just the tip of of the flower is bending over and crossing the other flower. It's really kind of unique, and it really connects the two together. Whereas if you had just two of them totally separate, you'd have to kind of decide which was more dominant, which was more important. And so this way they're connected. And I like the little dewdrops there also. But the more I looked at this, the more I saw some issues, and which unfortunately are holding it back for me. And it looks like some areas were cloned, but to me, instead of a soft clone, it looks like a hard edge clone. And it's down in the leaves, where there should be soft there, but it's a really hard edge that is pretty obvious. I don't know what happened here, but that is the only thing holding this image back for me.
You had a tough day, yeah.
Elephant Bay.
This is another really nice image. Yeah, I love the lighting, first of all. I mean, everything, the lighting, the poor elephant, looks like he's got a tumor or something. And that's unfortunate, but hopefully it's not going to affect his life, his or her life. But what I found really interesting about this was the perception of the two elephants way over to the right. And I really looked at these for a while because they've got to be baby elephants. They can't be full grown. But the perception is that they are full grown, and it just looks very unreal. But in my mind, my brain is telling me that they're babies, but it's just sort of it's just interesting the way they look so small. But I love the image. I think it's just a really, it's well done. Uh, it's got darks and then lights. It's got the whole range of tonal value in here. I like the monkeys running around. So I find it a very kind of intriguing image.
The Meetings of Two Waters.
And this image is kind of an interesting take also, because I see a lot of through a long exposure, we have some very soft waves, soft water, and that sort of thing. So it has that mysterious kind of feeling, and especially in the rocks in the center of the image. And then you have two very distinct areas of sharpness. And one is where the logs are, the driftwood and everything here in the foreground on the right. And the other are the seals over on the left side. And because of that, my eye bounces back and forth between the left side and the right side. And everything is soft in between. So it's kind of a tough composition. And I don't really know what's most dominant in this because I keep bouncing around. I think it's a lovely kind of image. It's a lovely technique. Um, but I'm just not sure where to rest my eye here. So yeah, that's kind of my take on this.
Monochrome Masters. 8 images. Enter through the alley.
I think this image is easy to pass on initially, but I kept coming back to this. And the reason why is because there's an order about it that I like. And that order is in in every little element here. It's in the two bikes that are parked here in the front. I love the dark alleyway here. I love the fact that the sign says massage is, we know, here again, our brain's working, and it said it knows what the word is, even though it's cut off. And then I look at the top where it's and I don't know the country, I don't know the language, perhaps Southeast Asia somewhere. But that tells me where it is. And so I'm just kind of intrigued by it. It's a great urban uh, uh, street photography kind of image. And I'm really glad that the maker stopped and created this composition because it's very, very well organized.
Obsolete.
Obsolete auto parts. Yeah, simple image, to the point. It invites us to look at the age, the textures. Perhaps everything here is obsolete, including the sign itself. We don't know if there's still a store there. So this has a certain mystery about it too. And I really like that you have filled the frame with, every little part of the frame has something going on for it. It's got the contrast, the texture, the story. Um, Technically, it's very well done as well.
Just add soap.
Okay, I get it. Yeah, everything looks soapy, frothy, and boy, very a lot of drama happening in here. So for black and white, I think there could be more drama in here. And I think the drama in in creating deeper blacks uh, could be uh, shown better. So here's another image to take back into the post-processing and create more contrast between the lights and the darks. I don't really see a black, maybe here in the bottom left, but I know that there's more dark areas in the rock that is in the water here. So it's a beautiful composition. I would love to see, I would love to see it become more dramatic. And I know it can become more dramatic. So that's my thought.
Parking lot closed due to high surf.
So what we have here in my mind is we have some horizontal lines which are uh, at first kind of create a feeling of mm, just nothing, there's not a lot going on. The birds are perched on the rock. They're very still. They're not flying around or anything. And then we have this huge wave that's just full of drama and it's just huge, and the waves are dynamic, and that there's a big rock back there in the background with an arch in it, I think. Um, and so you have this sort of like, peaceful introduction, but then chaos in the background. Um, and in the title it says parking lot is it's just it's in the title. And to me, I see waves, and I'd like the image to be about the waves and not necessarily about the parking lot, because it's just here again, I think you could add more drama simply by going in and creating more contrast, and then maybe taking some of the parking lot out, um, just eliminating some of that, and see what happens.
Inuksha. These structures are built by the indigenous people of the Arctic as points of reference for hunting, fishing, and other activities, as the tundra doesn't offer many landmarks.
I love this. I love this structure. This is really cool. And for me, I wonder how old this is. I wonder, there's no reference there to that, which is okay, but I personally, I would love to know how old these are. Um, and the blacks and the whites in here are just gorgeous. They make a really nice, the rocks set against the sky are just, they're just beautiful. The contrast is really, really nice. Um, Here again, I think what's holding this back, and this is just me. Um, I see shadows in the foreground. I see people's shadows, and that just kind of ruins the effect for me, unfortunately. Um, of course, not a whole lot you can do about that, except to simply get back a little bit further, maybe use a different lens. So, and then wait for people to like clear your space. But those are the kinds of things I think about when I'm shooting something like this: is, do I want my shadows in there? How is that going to affect the picture? Is the light really good right now? Maybe the clouds were coming back over the sun or something, so you had to do this. But that's just what I would look at and wanna fix.
Modern housing.
And I love the contrast here too. This is really uh, modern architecture, and the one building here to be hit like it is by the sun just really, really pops. Um, and you have this wonderful leading line that takes your eye right back into the building back there. There's a car there, but that's okay. It's just it adds another element to the image. Um, Here again, what I see is the contrast in the buildings at the back of the image. I'm not sure for me if this wall is really helping the image. I think there's another picture in here, and even if you were to come down vertically with this and to kind of see what I was talking about, uh, I would perhaps crop this off. There's a little tiny no parking sign there. That might be a good way to enter into the image, is just including that little parking sign in there, and see what happens.
Woman of the Mercy tribe, Omo Valley, Ethiopia.
Yeah, this is a really nice image. Very nicely done in black and white. You really rendered all the tones of black and white very, very well. And the background is even very simple and no distractions. The diagonal line running through there kind of adds to the image. Um, just her whole body is full of interesting details, and speaks to her culture. Her hair, the beads in her hair, the fact that she seems to be chewing on a toothpick of some kind. And you definitely got her engaged. Therefore, the viewer is engaged with her, and it's a great story.
Walking by a barber shop.
Yeah, this is reflections can be really cool, and this is no exception. There's three bodies here in one. That's my take on it. Three bodies, the person who is walking by, and because of his shadow, we're able to see the two people, the barber giving the guy a haircut. The even the dollar signs on whatever it is, the thing they put over you when you get your hair cut. That is interesting. And I like the circles, I like the lines, I like the diagonal lines happening here. It's just, again, it's got a lot of texture, a lot of vibrance, and even though it's in black and white, um, it's still a very, very interesting reflection. And these aren't that hard to do. Sometimes you just have to wait for the right moment to achieve these.
Nature, basic, 2 images. Red-tailed hawk soaring over Bodega Bay.
I thought that was water out there. I thought it's either water or sky, but it definitely looked like water to me. Um, so hopefully that's what I'm seeing. Anyway, yeah, very nice image of this red-tail hawk. It's kind of neat that you can see. You're actually kind of like shooting right over him, so you can see his tail really well. Usually, most of us don't have that opportunity to really see the red in the hawk's tail. So this was very fortuitous to actually get this shot. Um, uh, Again, it's really nice. I would maybe perhaps just lighten down the highlights just a little bit, but yeah, that's just me.
Red Rock Canyon, Zion National Park, Utah.
Okay, so if you're like me, you kind of looked at this, you kind of did a double take on it, um, but then I figured out what I was looking at. So we're shooting out from under a rock roof onto the to the canyon walls of Zion. I actually have a similar image that I shot in the Grand Canyon, which almost has that, it has that same kind of abstract look. And you have to do double take on it before you kind of your eyes adjust to what you're seeing. But but yeah, it's really nicely done and intriguing, definitely intriguing.
Nature, intermediate, 1 image. This crab spider injected its venom into the abdomen of this Crabronidae wasp. The venom has enzymes which dissolve the prey's organs and allow the spider to suck out and ingest the nutritious fluids.
Yuck. This is a great nature image, I mean, it's just one of those things. This is nature. And I'm not a big insect fan or anything, but I love seeing images like this where somebody sees this and that it's just a great story. um the highlights are a little bit hot. I might tone those down, and uh depth of field is good. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's good. It's really hard in real close-up shots like this. It's very difficult. So I commend you for getting as sharp an image as you did. So, but yeah, it's a really wonderful and kind of horrific, I guess, in a way, in the insect world, nature story.
Nature Advanced, 3 images. Sandhill cranes perform a ritualistic courtship dance that usually takes place during the spring migration and involves bowing, leaping, spreading wings, and tossing of sticks. Monte Vista, Colorado.
Okay. Very well done. The composition really worked out for you well here, because you have, again, you can see the rhythm between the two cranes, the interaction, and those elements coming together really well. And it just happens to be in this open space between all the other birds in the background. And if one of those birds had been um, uh, intersecting with the two cranes in the front, you would lose that. You would lose that rhythm, if you will, between the two birds here. So really nicely composed, and the blurred background really helps to create that sense of environment. You can see cranes and the Canada goose in there as well. So multiple species together. Very, very nice.
A giant otter, Pteronura brasiliensis, in Brazil's wetlands with a golden dorado catch. Giant otters reach 70 pounds, eating 5 to 7 pounds of fish daily. Although endangered, their numbers are growing again.
Yeah, yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool. Wow, this is a real good close up. And I shouldn't say close up, it's close in, all right? Probably from a telephoto lens, which you really were able to frame him quite well in this, because this is really all we need to see. We just need to see that big old fish in his mouth, and it's really cool to see his teeth and the detail in his face, the whiskers and everything. Um, and the lighting is really nice. Here's another one though, where I would maybe take this back in and reduce into Photoshop or whatever processing program you use, and maybe reduce those highlights. There's quite a bit of brightness on the fish's head, and try to reduce that a little bit. See if there's any detail in there at all that you could bring out, and darken the shadows just a bit, give it a little bit more contrast. But excellent story.
Precise landings, 1 of 4. Belted kingfishers, Megaceral alcyon, routinely perform precise landings in small spaces from horizontal flight in over 30 miles per hour by first extending their wings to slow down. 2 of 4, wings retracted. The kingfisher then pitches up using only its tail feathers while extending its legs in preparation for impact. 3 of 4, wings extended again. The kingfisher reduces speed while adjusting its roll and yaw orientations so that both feet contact the branch simultaneously. 4 of 4, upon contact, the kingfisher's legs retract to absorb kinetic energy while its feet grip the swaying branch, providing balance to immediately hunt its prey below.
Okay, so um excuse me. I as I'm watching this, there's a I feel that the wording is a bit laborious. And I just, I feel that there's just a lot of information here to absorb in such just a split second uh, transition of time. And uh, my way of simplifying things is to maybe not have so many um, uh, images. Okay. Uh, but that's just me. That's just my personal preference. I like images to more or less speak for themselves. And and while I appreciate the information, I think it's just a little bit too much of explanations to keep my interest in the images themselves. And uh, I don't do sequences like this, so I may be, I may be wrong in judging it that way, but that's just my perception of sequences like this. So next.
Nature Masters, 5 images. Western pond turtle, Clemys marmorata. Turtles basking in the late afternoon sun. They live in ponds and small lakes with abundant vegetation. Range, west of the Cascade and Sierra Nevada crest.
This I kind of think we shouldn't take squirrels and turtles and things like that. I think they're underrated sometimes because this is a lovely image, and each turtle is sharp. So technically, you used a really good depth of field here. There's no distractions. It's a very clean image. And I like the grouping. You have 5 turtles here, and rule of odds. And some people will disagree with me on this, but I like the rule of odds because it just keeps your eye in the frame just that much longer. And so this image really works for me. Um, it's a really good uh, it's a really good example of this species of turtle. And this could probably be in a magazine. I have no idea what, but one that likes to talk about turtles, I guess. But very nice composition.
Frozen methane bubbles, 1 of 2. In Arctic regions, decaying vegetation in lakes and streams releases methane. In winter, this methane gets trapped under the ice and bubbles, which freeze. 2 of 2. As the water freezes from the top, more methane forms new bubbles in vertical stacks. Mid-January to mid-February is the best time to see them.
So yeah, we have 2 images here, and I'm more invested in this. I think because there's only 2 images. I love the second image. It just really, I mean, if I didn't have the title in there, it would be an abstract. I don't know if I would know what I was looking at. And I'm I'm kind of torn because this is a little bit more realistic, this first image, than the second one. And I'm a little bit torn as to being able to see. Um, they're just very different. They're very, very different. And that's either a good thing or it's not a good thing. I wouldn't mind seeing, in my mind, in my artist mind, I wouldn't mind seeing 2 really, really abstract images. But then I realized that the first image is a little bit more realistic and should probably go with the second image, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, Either way, yeah, I think this is a very interesting, and it helps me understand this whole thing about methane bubbles a little better.
Head first, an osprey, Pandion haliatus, lands on a high branch of a dead tree with a trout. 2 of 2, and eats the head before taking it to the nest. Spring Lake, Santa Rosa, California.
Okay. Here's a sequence. Now, this is my kind of sequence, okay? you have the osprey with a fish, and he lands on a high branch on a dead tree with a trout, dot, dot, dot. And then the second image, and eats the head before taking it to the nest. Boom, the head's gone. I mean, it's just clean as a whistle. And so this works for me really well. I like this. Again, I gravitate to those more, simple explanations and along with a simple composition and photograph. So that's just me.
Little bee eaters, Merops pusillus, are common in sub-Saharan Africa and are the smallest of the bee eaters. They're insect eaters, in this case, a scarlet dragonfly, Crothemis erytheus, Kenya.
I like that you were able to identify the dragonfly as well as the bird. A very nice image. There's absolutely nothing I would change about this. Uh, Everything from the background has no distractions. You've really framed the bird really nicely. There's no empty space. And so, yeah, it's definitely an image you should really be thrilled with coming back from Africa.
A blue-footed booby, Sula niboxia, excretes waste from a single orifice called a cloacia. Almost all birds have, I didn't practice this one, cloacia, which also serves to transfer sperm and lay eggs, Galapagos, Ecuador. Sorry.
Okay, here I'm gonna give you the scoop on the poop here. Um, this is definitely what you call a bird's eye view, right? Um, so and you don't need a sequence on this one. So so this image speaks for itself. But interestingly enough, I did do a little research on this, and I did find out that if a bird poops on you, and it depends on the culture, but generally speaking, when a bird poops on you, if it should, and I know that's not pooping on anybody here, but it, spiritually speaking, it's good luck. So I just thought I would share that with you. Um, but yeah, I don't think this is one I would put on my wall, but it's informative and entertaining.
Critique, feedback, all levels, 5 images. First, light.
This looks like a painting. I love the light rays coming in. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be, well, I think it's a creative image. Uh, but I like it. I like it. I don't know why. It's just, you don't see a rhinoceros in this kind of environment, um, generally speaking. And so the fact that he's sort of, it's almost like he's been in this forest and it's a symbol of age, because he's aged with all that green. It's like moss is growing on him or something. And so whatever the vision here was, there's certain interpretations that one can take from it. but the lighting, the lighting's been manipulated so that it's just beautiful and just a really kind of um, interesting background and different take.
Phantom of the Opera meets Moulin Rouge.
So this is another one I don't know if it's creative or not, and I don't know if I can't tell if it's a picture of a picture. And if it's a picture of a picture, I think that's fine. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's certainly an interesting picture. If I use art, if I take a picture of somebody else's art, and I'm sure many of you know this, um, I'd want to somehow manipulate it so that it becomes part of my own vision and it doesn't dominate the it doesn't dominate necessarily, but I like to make it my own. So I'm not sure if that's what's happening here or not. The colors and everything are beautiful. And if you were to take a picture of a picture to put this on the wall, I can understand that, but I just honestly don't know. So it's kind of hard for me to judge it um, any other way at this point.
Devastation after the Kincaid fire in Sonoma County.
Wow, that's one super tall chimney. Yeah, it's bent over, it's definitely seen its best days, and it will probably eventually fall over unless it's taken down, of course. But it really fits. I mean, this is a very yeah, kind of sad image, but again, very well done. All the debris at the bottom speaks to the chimney, and that chimney just feels, it's like it's lost everything. The chimney's lost everything, but it's still standing. So again, interpretation here. Um, Very nice.
Down for dinner.
Okay, so uh it takes, well, maybe it doesn't, but the fact that it just, you have three separate entities here, but your brain knows that it's all one, up at the top. You just can't see it. So you know that they're connected. Does it work? I'm not sure. I'm not sure because um, the the legs of the flamingo, and I'm going to assume it's a flamingo, um, are they blend in a lot with what's happening in the water because there's a lot of lines and similar shapes and similar values in lights and darks. Uh, yeah, so it's about the form that the water is creating around the legs and vice versa. So um, I think it's an interesting concept. It's just not one that works for me personally.
Shires are draft horses developed in England. They've been used for farm work, towing barges and canals, and, as demonstrated here, at lumber mills pulling logs.
Of course, here's my horses again. So, I love the horses. And what's nice about this, though, is they're moving towards you, okay? And you're not getting them from the side or anything. So the viewer can readily connect with the horses, and we can also see the driver there on the side very clearly. And I think that's important in this case. The composition is then it becomes sort of a there's three subject matters here, and they all work together, literally, no pun intended, but they're all working together to make this image. And the atmosphere of the dust just really completes the scene for me. So this is another one that I think is nicely done.
Okay, we've covered all of the images. We'll take another 5-minute break.
Monochrome Basic, 2 images, second place.
Oops.
We're not seeing the right screen.
Bill, were you going to share or?
Third place.
This is Pictorial, and it's now showing.
Okay, then I'm not looking at the right screen. Just let me try something. Okay, third place, Dan. Press the M key. Third place, Dan. Is he here this evening?
I don't think so.
Haven't seen him.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Congratulations to Dan. Second place. James.
If you unmute yourself, you can tell us a
There you
little
go.
about it.
No, double clicked it. Anyway, hi. Yeah. So this is actually looking southwest from my home in
Very
Glen,
nice.
Cool.
Glen Ellen.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Congratulations. First place. Martin.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Very, very nice. Yeah. It's a nice capture.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, I just
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
thanks. Thanks so much.
Pictorial Intermediate, 3 images. Third place, Elizabeth.
Here tonight?
Elizabeth isn't here.
Haven't seen her.
Mm-mm.
Congratulations to Elizabeth. Second place, Amy.
Thank you. Just love the shape of this thing. Just can't stop thinking about that curve there. So, despite its
Beautiful curve.
flaws.
Yeah. They have Amy, they have like 10,000 feathers just in their neck.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. I only captured about 80 of them.
Yeah,
Nice.
Thank you.
Shape is really lovely.
yeah.
Congratulations. First place,
Oh.
Mark.
Good try.
Yeah.
Great.
Pretty cool.
Our insect man.
Yeah, with the grid. Very nice.
Yeah,
Have to
background is
rename
really
him
nice.
Buzz.
Congratulations. Pictorial Advanced, 4 images. Honorable mention,
Oh, yeah.
Stephanie.
Oh,
Beautiful.
beautiful, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Nice capture of the
Be good.
wings.
You're
Be
muted.
good nature too.
You can almost count those feathers.
Stephanie, did you use a little still flash with that or no?
No, it's just no flash.
Wow, fantastic.
Beauty.
Congratulations. Third place, Ed.
That's great.
Very nice.
Yeah, that's a nice shot.
I wouldn't want to get lost in there.
Yeah, it's almost like a painting.
We're
Yeah.
touched by that yellow stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You go in and you'd never come out.
right.
Congratulations to Ed. Second place,
Oh yeah.
Trisha.
Trisha.
Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Looks like
Yeah, love it. Where'd you
This
get
is
it?
from a field trip from another club to the Pacific Coast Air Museum.
Ah,
Oh yeah,
Cool.
I remember
My,
that.
my
Really
favorite
cool.
thing isn't the planes, it's the parts of the planes.
yeah, good eye.
Yes.
I like
Thanks.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice color.
Nice.
Congratulations. First place,
Oh yeah.
Sherry.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
beautiful.
yeah, that's gorgeous.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What Sherry would like to tell you, Jan, I texted her your question,
Uh-huh.
and it is in the Palouse.
Oh, okay. That explains the golden rolling hills. That's beautiful.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Stunning.
nice.
Nice capture.
Those of us who aren't so traveled, what's the Palouse?
Oh,
It's in the southeast part of Washington State.
Right.
It has wonderful farm rolling hills reminiscent of Tuscan hills, as they say.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
gorgeous.
and in the spring, you'll see from up above on a butte, you will see Steptoe Butte, you'll see lavender and yellow and green
bright orange and green
and stuff. And
Yeah.
this in the I think that she was there earlier spring, was it? But anyways, at different seasons you get different things, but it's the rolling.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely shot.
no fun.
The entire region was massively eroded in Ice Age massive flood when Lake Missoula up in Montana broke and it washed over everything. And if you look at it from above, a lot of the land you see mimics sand ripples that you would see in a riverbed.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
these are massive, so it was massive amount of water, but it created gorgeous landscape.
Wow,
Mhm.
it's like the rock, yeah. The hills,
Wow.
beautiful.
Stunning.
Congratulations to Sherry.
Hmm.
Pictorial Masters, 3 images.
Ah.
Bill,
Yes.
3rd place. Mhm.
Thanks, Jan, for your comments. I'm a sucker for birds. Birds in the image, I can't crop it out.
I am too. I
But
am
of course,
too.
this is pictorial, so I can move the bird.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I will
Put a
experiment.
few in. Put 3 in.
Put it across the moon.
There you go.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
2nd place.
Yeah.
Oh
Herb.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is through the Merced River in a trip we took to Yosemite Valley last November. And so just started fooling around with the polarizer and adjusting how much reflection versus rocks on the bottom. And then fortunately there was a leaf pile going by. So that finished it. Thank you.
Yes.
Background
Beautiful.
abstract. Yeah, it's
Absolutely beautiful.
really. Hmm.
Congratulations. 1st place. Gary.
Oh, thank
Very
you.
Nice, Gary.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was just by luck. Why, it was last full moon there in February, and went out to do full moon out on the head, and it wasn't really that exciting or anything like that. But then I did notice just before it got dark the a fishing boat coming in, and then it just as we were coming back from the head, we noticed he was unloading. And my art director, my wife says, "You got to take this." And so when the art director speaks, I jump, right? And so anyway, so I stopped and I did quite a few different ones because the reflections were just beautiful. I think he was unloading crab, and you can see the bucket, but it's in motion, so you'll see parts of the image are blurred because the people were moving about on the longer exposure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you hand hold this or tripod?
Oh, no, I had my tripod. So I was doing, longer exposures. Matter of fact, a lot of them I couldn't use because like you couldn't see the name on the back of the boat very well because it was rocking. So I just kept shooting away, you know, and I forget what was my exposure up there. It says
Stellar
1/3 of a second on this one. Yeah.
1/3 of a second, right.
And so, yeah, I was taking fairly long exposures and on those.
Nice.
And, yeah, just beautiful reflections. And the other boats, of course, had nice reflections too. But the light on the fishing boat where the unloading really made the difference.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Terrific.
Stunner.
Tells a great story.
Congratulations. Travel intermediate, 2 images. Second place, Elizabeth.
Oh.
Can whoever's cursor that is be moved off the screen?
That would be Bill.
That would be me.
Thank you.
Move that cursor.
Sorry about that.
Congratulations to Elizabeth. First place. Amy.
Beautiful image, Amy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, very nice.
It is like fairy book, you know, fairyland kind of image and a fairy, that kind of a place too. But thank you for the comment about it being a little bit tilted. I mean, as many times as you look at it, like you just don't catch something like that. So
yeah,
appreciate the feedback on that.
Sure. I'm imagining in winter with the snowfall up a little closer, it would look like something James Kincaid would do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think winter is the time when they get the most tourists because those roofs are just incredible with the snow on them. Yeah. They're in the off season. It was still gorgeous.
Is this
really pretty?
Is this close to any of the major sites you see when you go to Japan?
Not really.
It's pretty remote, huh?
It's pretty remote, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
cool.
going in November, that's why I asked.
Okay. Well, you can email me for more details.
Yeah, okay, I will.
Congratulations. Travel Advance, 4 images, honorable mention. Sherry.
Oh, color is nice. Wow.
Yeah, great detail.
Congratulations to Sherry. Third place. Cindy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice muted colors.
Yeah, and he's isolated there. It's a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Second place. Linda.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
Gorgeous,
thank you.
Linda.
Great light.
It is a beautiful national park. And there was nobody, didn't see anybody walking up. Had to get to that tree. Nobody was around.
What time of year was that, Amy? Linda.
Linda, that was May.
Yeah,
it was last year, May.
Yeah, fresh.
Right? When they did 23, yeah. No, 6. It
colors.
wasn't 6. It was July.
June.
June.
It says 6/3. June.
Yeah, your tonal qualities there are so nice.
Yeah,
the colors are beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the comments too.
Oh, yeah.
First place, Pat.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a remote area of Mongolia.
Wow.
If Mongolia isn't remote enough, it's about 1,000 miles and more than 1,000 by car from Ulaanbaatar, far in the west. But it was a small eagle festival, and really, he loved his eagle. Yeah, they have great relationships with their eagles. I mean, they take care of them. They're family members, essentially.
Wow,
that's
fabulous,
amazing, gorgeous.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Travel Masters, 3 images. Third place, Jack.
That really draws you in.
Anchor what? Yeah.
Congratulations to Jack. Second place, Mike.
Mike, yeah. Great.
But you can get the most
He is
recent.
such
Wow.
He has nice evening
Congratulations
shots.
to Mike. First place,
Oh,
Tamara.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Congratulations
definitely
to
a
Tamara.
master.
Wow.
Monochrome Basic, 1 image. First place, Dan. Congratulations to Dan.
I know that spot.
Monochrome Intermediate, 2 images. Second place,
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
Elizabeth.
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Book burning. Ugh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Elizabeth.
Very nice.
And first place, Mark.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love this.
Yeah, it's cute.
Very nice.
Yeah, those reflections are almost graphic. They're really neat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations to Mark. Monochrome Advanced, 3 images. Third place, Ronnie.
We knew it.
Cool.
Nice,
That looked
Congratulations.
like a Ronnie picture.
Yeah, it sure does.
Thank you. I just want to let you know that I'm really sorry that I let Kate Middleton do my photoshopping.
Oh, you're cool.
Oh my gosh. Awesome.
I love your title. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
Great title.
Let me whisper in your ear. That's what it looks
great.
like.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Second place,
Oh,
Cindy.
Wow. Cindy.
thank you.
Wow.
That's
Fabulous.
incredible.
Yeah. Oof. Looks like he's got a tumor though.
Yeah, poor thing.
I've seen that on deer a lot. I've seen tumors all over deer when.
Yeah, that's very
Ugh.
common. You see a lot of
Yeah, I
tumors
bet.
on the elephants on their sides.
Yeah. That's
Well, they
I
live
wonder
long.
why.
Huh. Interesting.
Hmm.
Very interesting.
Congratulations. First place, Ellen.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic.
Where is that old car?
But this is Havana, Cuba.
I was going to
Okay, I
say, it
thought it
looks
was-
like
Looks
Cuba.
like Havana.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought Cuba. That's what they drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old cars.
Yeah.
Well, they can't import new cars.
Great shot.
Great, Ellen.
It's a great shot.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Congratulations.
Was he aware of you taking this picture?
He was standing there and he was not very, very approachable. So I was kind of taking a photo of the building in the background and sort of turned to the side and caught him.
Oh, wow.
Great,
great capture.
Unaware.
Congratulations. Monochrome Masters, 5 images. Honorable mention, Steve.
Oh.
Nice.
That looks like a Steve.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks
very
like
nice.
a Steve shot.
Yeah.
That's right.
Impressive.
I love the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like clouds.
I
And
wonder what
those
kind of
waterfalls too. It's cool.
Very ethereal looking.
Yeah.
Wonder where that is.
I believe it's a little further north coast from here.
Wow.
Interesting little waterfalls there.
Yeah, I
Really
thought that was
big.
cool.
It is.
Yeah. Wow.
Congratulations to Steve. Honorable mention, Jennifer.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I just had the small screen while I was out there, I didn't notice those shadows until I got home. But Well, they were there. But I did really love that. And I have no idea how old it is.
That's really unique.
Wow.
Very interesting images.
Yeah, it really is unique. It's great.
Love the tonal qualities. It's really beautiful.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations. Third place, Jack.
Massage.
Thailand.
Congratulations to Jack. Second place, Mike.
That's Mike and the reflection.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Good idea.
His shoot from the hip.
Shoot from the hip, exactly.
Probably.
That's good.
Yeah, no, that's what he said. I mean, that's what he called it.
Yeah.
Walking by a barbershop.
Congratulations to Mike. First place,
Oh.
Tamara.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You don't even have to guess who did it.
Yeah. That is. That's a beautiful shot.
Just gorgeous. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She finds some gorgeous portraits.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, it's so interesting to look at her. I mean, the markings on her arms and her lower lip, it looks like it just, or whatever she's eating, you just, and all the beadwork, just so cool.
I love her eyes. Her eyes are great.
They must really trust her.
Yeah, she's not afraid to approach people, so she gets
Yeah.
the correct shot of people.
Just beautiful.
Perfect background.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a portrait studio.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Congratulations to Tamara. Nature Basic, 2 images, second place, Martin.
Good job.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it helps when you get up high and you're kind of on their level.
Where were you?
Yeah.
This was in Bodega Bay. I was in the hill overlooking the bay.
Thought maybe you climbed a tree or something.
You hear them before you see them usually.
Yeah.
When I hear one, I kind of perks me up, and then I'm searching for it, and this guy flew by really low.
Congratulations. First place.
That's mine too.
Martin again.
Very nice.
That is cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, the colors are great.
Yeah, Zion is the best. Amazing place.
Yeah, it's a really nice place to go.
Absolutely.
You made a great debut, Martin.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Nature Intermediate, 1 image, first place. Mark.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mark, the macro man.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Spider-Man and the Bee-Man and
boy, that's amazing.
Really?
Where he finds all these things.
Two
I
of
think probably bees and blooms.
For sure, yeah.
Oh.
Congratulations to Mark.
That's one predator eating another, yeah.
Nature Advanced, 3 images, third place. Stephanie.
Yeah, what a mouthful.
Love his eyes looking at you and his fangs.
Thanks for your feedback, Jen.
You're welcome.
Nice job of catching the action on that one.
Congratulations. Second place, Greg.
Oh, nice, Greg.
Yeah, it was.
He always tells an interesting nature story.
It was, yeah. Coming in at 30 miles an hour and stopping on the branch.
Bam.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Greg. First place.
Oh.
Cindy.
Yeah. That's a beaut.
I think we've seen that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Beautiful sound too, don't they, with the trumpeting? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. Nature Masters, 4 images. Honorable mention.
Oh.
Jennifer.
Thank you. Yeah, this was the best thing about my trip. I just loved seeing these frozen bubbles. It's called methane hydrate that it makes when the methane freezes.
It's a great
That
story.
is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It really is.
Good abstract.
And the cracks get filled with snow and they look like walls underwater.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That'd make a good nature story too, because they're concerned with methane and the melting in the Arctic.
Sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, good point.
Are creative.
Yeah, it's beautiful but deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow, great shot.
Congratulations. 3rd place. Gary.
Oh, Gary.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a fun one. There's at Sacramento National Wildlife Reserve, you get down to the back end and there's a place you can get out of the car and rest, relax for a minute. And looks like the rangers have put these nice logs out there because they've been out for a couple of years. And we noticed last year that they had, the turtles tend to congregate on them. I just happened to catch them all and use what I did F11 on that with my long lens to try to get that depth of field, because my other ones didn't have that good a depth of
Very
field.
nice.
Thank you.
Great picture. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Sure
cool.
Congratulations. 2nd place. Tamara.
That's perfect. Nice.
Gorgeous.
Wow.
So sharp.
Amazing. The vibrancy of that bird. Wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Congratulations to Tamara. 1st place. Bill.
All right. Congratulations,
wow, that's nice,
Bill.
Bill.
That is fabulous.
Yeah. Spring Lake. Makes me want to go back.
Really?
Great.
Yeah.
Spring Lake.
Wow.
Taken from a back raft. I was focused on a little kingfisher that I'd never seen before. And this osprey just flew up.
Wow.
Great.
Fish.
That's great.
Yeah.
Selfish of that bird.
I think the title of this one should be In Your Face.
In your face.
I noticed at Lake Sonoma
Off of his head.
Yeah. I noticed at Lake Sonoma that the osprey's on that nest by the bridge for anybody's interested in getting that shot, just a couple days ago.
Outside Healdsburg?
Yeah, right on the bridge that goes over Lake Sonoma.
Yeah, yeah, I know right where that is.
Yeah, there's just before the going across the bridge on the right, there's a little pull out, and then on top of a pole there's but we saw 2 of them on the nest, so there should be activity there this year.
Cool.
Let's take a look.
Congratulations. And best show this evening goes to Jerry.
Oh, nice.
Well earned. Very
Nobody's
nice.
arguing with that.
Well deserved.
Yeah. That one we
so
did.
nice.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you, Jan.
Yeah,
Jan.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for
Wonderful feedback.
Yeah,
really
lots
was.
of good
Great.
suggestions.
Thank you, Jan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jen.
for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Beautiful
Judy.
images, everyone.
Great.
Bye,
feed.
everybody. See you in May.
Great to see.
We'll see
Thank
you
you.
tomorrow.
Good luck.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Oh, there's April.
See you tomorrow,
We'll be
Steve.
here, I guess.
I'll be recuperating.
Oh, well, good luck with that.
Thank
I
you.
will
Yeah.
sync,
Well.
Bill.
You'll sync.
Yeah.
All right. Bye-bye.